Howdy folks, we're starting out to head to the machine factory and wanted to start out with a little different perspective, looking down the length of the train. I've already got all 10 locomotives fired up, so all we have to do is get it moving. Alright, we'll check our map. We want to switch that signal. Want to go through the farm, Oil Well Central, City Southwest, and then up to Machine Factory. I toyed with the idea of going down through Forest South. There would surely be logs down there to pick up and then drop off at the sawmill. That makes the trip a lot longer. And I'd like to try and get to Iron Ore Mine West on this video. So I just don't want to add the extra time. I've done that trip before, and that's 45 minutes to go down through there by itself. So some power on, take off the brakes. And run back and make sure that the whole thing is moving. Now there's the ass end. Just catch back up to it. Get out in front of it and let it catch us. There we go. Have to make sure that switch is to the right for Forest Central. Have to make sure we can get through the farm without going down any sidings. That should not be a problem. Generally, like farm, Oil Well Central, the switches will be set correctly. They'll be defaulted to run us down the main line. And that switch for Forest Central generally is defaulted to the correct position. like to see through here. We're starting to roll downhill. There's that first switch. That switch would take us back into where you load trailers at the farm. And that switch is way out here. And you gotta go all that way out to switch to that other siding. We could take a look at what kind of loads were generated, but they're going to be all food factory, yeah. Food factory, food factory, food factory, food factory. 3 shunting loads and a haul job, all to food factory. I'm not going to stop for that. We're not going to food factory. We might stop for that on the way back if they're still there. But it seems like when you don't want the jobs are there. When you do want the jobs, like when I'm heading eastbound, and I could take those jobs, then the place will be empty. Which is why I sometimes validate jobs ahead of time and then just throw them in the lost and found. That job will, once it's validated, it'll never go away. Again, that would generally only have jobs going eastbound. Maybe something down to the harbor or the goods factory. Again, we could take a look at what jobs that the game generated. Yes, 2 for harbor. I might stop and validate those to make sure they don't disappear. Because I've got stuff sitting at the steel mill for the harbor. And the last time I came through here, there was absolutely nothing here. When I wanted loads for the harbor, there was nothing here. Four there. And three there. I saw there were cars on two different tracks. I don't have room in my inventory, so I'll just have to grab the book and run it over to the lost and found, whichever way that is. There it is. Now those jobs will still be there when I come back through the other direction. When I come through the opposite direction and I'm looking for jobs, these jobs will still be here. Last time I went to the harbor, I was looking for tank cars of crude oil, and there was nothing. Generally, you don't take anything out of City Southwest, you just make deliveries to City Southwest. Overhauled is supposed to debut in about 3 weeks. I wanted to get a little bit of this footage in the books, so to speak, before Overhauled comes along and changes everything. Although I'm sure there's plenty of Derail Valley videos out there. Put plenty of pictures on Discord of my 55, 65 car trains. But I haven't had the opportunity to haul any real long stuff while making these videos. Got what, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 25, 30. I've only got 30 cars on this one. I think my longest was 75 or 78. Besides 10 locomotives. But I've had quite a few in the 55 to 65 car range. I used to, I can't move the mouse pointer, but I used to make the whole circuit. I'd start up one side, start up like the east side, or do Harbor Steel Mill, goods factory, oil well, coal mine, iron ore mine, food factory, iron ore mine west, then down to machine factory, city southwest, oil well central. I might hit forest and farm, and then swing back up forest and sawmill, and then swing back around to farm, and then back to steel mill. I'd make the whole dang circuit, picking up and dropping off as I went. And that's how I would get 65 cars. You know, I might pull in with 40 cars and roll out with 65. But then the next stop I drop off 10 and pick up 12. And then the next stop I drop off 20 of them and pick up 15, you know. There was no telling. I would know how, you know, I can look at my jobs and know how many cars I'm going to drop off, but there was no telling how many cars there might be at the station to pick up. If there were jobs at Oil Well North, if there were tank cars at Oil Well North that needed to go to the harbor, but my next stop was coal mine or iron mine or food factory, and then I'm going to machine factory after that, well, I would just hook them up and pull them along. I'd just take them along for the ride. Because I know eventually, after I make the whole circuit, I'm going to end up down at the harbor. But it would take 3 or 4 hours a day over the course of 3 or 4 days. To run that whole circuit. So I started changing things up a little bit. I do one run up and down the east side, and I do another run up and down the west side. And I don't seem to create such long trains as running the whole circuit. We can put on some more speed through this stretch. Actually, clear from City Southwest up, we could have been running probably 35-40 kph. I was just daydreaming. Everything to Food Factory, including the 4 boxcars, goes to IO7. First direct to the left. That's what I thought. But with my brain, it's better to confirm. Everything but the 5 empty hoppers on the ass end goes down. IO7. How there's nothing in here until you get closer, and then all the stuff suddenly generates right before your eyes. Not that one, this one. And there it pops in. those car racks could be going to city southwest or probably harbor. I'll probably stop before the boxcars, before the empty hoppers come around the corner. And disconnect those. I think that's neat how you could watch it come up the hill and around the corner. Until the sign gets in the way. What did I say it was? 30 cars? 35? I don't even remember. Even that seems like a long train. But it really isn't anything special compared to what I've hauled in the past. I've had them so long that I can pull all the way through this yard and not see the other end. Looks like boxcars coming up there. So I don't know if the remote will reach. Apparently I can't get back in. I'm going to try hooking up the remote to this locomotive. I'm a little close. There we go. Now just put that away. And run to the ass end. Yeah, I could have stopped it a little sooner. Before these empty hoppers started around the siding. Yeah, those are far enough in that I can flip the switch back here. There's 5 empty hoppers. I know this because of my notes I took. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. these away. I'll get these back on the main line. There's the switch. Yeah, I'm just past it. Looks like I'm just past it. If I'm not, it'll switch back. And the cars will start going all wonky. But it looks like I'm good. Whoops. Pushing wrong buttons is what that's called. I mentioned in a previous video how my brain kind of always defaults to F for forward instead of pushing J. That's what happened there. That's going where we want it. No, that's not going where we want it. That was the wrong switch. To run back there. I'll get clear of this switch and then run back there and make sure that they're set correctly. Say where we were. When I said, I think we're out far enough. Yeah. We only needed to pull up 2 or 3 car lengths. think what I'll do while I'm here, I said I had that other, I had the locomotive remote set up to the front locomotives. I thought I might have to pull these a little further in. It looks like I need to get them past that switch. So I'll go ahead and run these up a little further, long as I'm up here, long as I had to walk all the way up here. I'll make sure that I've got this far enough past the switches that I can validate it. And that looks just fine. Now I'll throw this, put this away, and go get the rest of my train. Now that I've got the switches set correctly, a little bit of a hill. I'll turn on the fan just to make sure that my rear facing locomotives don't overheat. I could use the locomotive remote and run up there ahead of the cars to better see what's going on. But I know I already got the switches correct. All I gotta do is run up here a ways. Then I'll bring the front 6 locomotives back to them. Anywhere in there is fine. Turn that fan off now. And go validate all this stuff. I think it's over here somewhere, isn't it? Yeah, it's way up there. See what this stuff is. Yeah, food factory. Food factory. That's a shunting job for goods factory. So that would all be going up the east side. To oil well north, again that's up the east side. Food factory up the east side. Food factory up the east side. So in theory, I could validate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all 6 of those, and take them with me on the way back south. This is what I was explaining, where if I ran the whole entire circuit, I would load up all those jobs now and take them with me across the top of the map over to Food Factory. And that's how I end up getting 60 car trains. But I hate running that northern stretch. That northern stretch between Iron Ore Mine West and Food Factory. Oh, it takes half hour to 45 minutes just to run across there. And then you're just flipping a coin if you even make it or not. Because right through that center section where the switch is, it's just 50-50 if you'll get through there without breaking couplers. It's just a bug. And all these tunnels up through there, they're all bugged as well. I get tunnel collider crap all in this in my list here. It'll just be full of red tunnel collider shit. So anyways, what I'll do is validate all this crap so I have some room in my inventory, and then I'll probably validate those and throw them in the lost and found for the return trip, and then just take my iron ore cars and go on down the track. I have to go get my wallet. Whoops, gotta pull it up and then do that. There we go. I'll take a walk outside. That's not outside. This is outside. There's the lost and found, which is where I will find my wallet. Come back over here and just start scooping these up. Money, money, money. Not that the, what is that? 4,131,000 will do me a shit bit of good in about 3 weeks. I mean, not that it doesn't do me any good right now. The only things I could maybe buy, I've already purchased. So I'll just throw this back in lost and found for now, because I want room in my inventory to pick up those other jobs. All this stuff for food factory that I'll take later on. Oh boy, look at all the shunting jobs and shit now. No. Yes. Load and prepare for goods factory. I usually shy away from these shunting jobs, but it's only 4 cars. Of course, 2 will be over here, 1 will be over there, and the 4th one will be in a completely different spot. The devs will make it as hard as possible to load those 4 cars. No. Empty cars to oil well north, yes. Empty cars to food factory. I suppose. Since the rest of that looks like it's all shunting jobs. Not real enthusiastic about that one. Load and prepare a train with new cars for departure to food factory. Now, those were loaded when we came in here. I'm gonna go outside and check. Load and prepare a train with electronics. No. Unload and store a train with cars from. Now there was 2 strings of loaded auto racks out there. And I've had the game do this to me before. They're fully loaded when you pull in. And then once you validate your job, it unloads the cars and creates a shunting job out of it. These are the ones I pulled in. Well, there's still 2 strings of loaded cars back here. And the shunting job for unloading the cars only accounts for 1 of those 2 strings. So these would be the ones they want me to load. They weren't, I don't recall those sitting there before I validated my jobs. But that's the harbor, and that's the food factory. And that shunting job only has 5 auto racks on it. So what's the other whole string of auto racks for? There's no job on the table for those. It's like all of a sudden I have to load those cars if I want them, instead of just picking them up. So when I do get back here, I'm gonna have an hour and a half worth of shunting jobs and getting the train ready to go back down to Steel Mill and then up the east side of the map. I think I can leave all these jobs here. With the exception of EH01, or maybe it's 00. I'll find out. These are all the jobs that I will pick up on the way back through. I'm going to have more jobs than I have room to carry them. Now one of these is the iron ore mine. You betcha. SO4. So that's my return trip. And I've got the oil tankers, the oil cars down there that I saved out. There's one food factory job already sitting on a siding at the steel mill. And then there were half a dozen other food factory or goods factory jobs on the table. Besides the harbor stuff. So no lack for work. Let's see. I had to see if this particular locomotive I'm standing in was facing forward or facing reverse, so I know which way to push the button. By the time I do all this and go back to the steel mill, I could have a 60-car train or something like that. I have to run these out to the main line and then back them up to the iron ore cars. That's gonna look funny. 10 locomotives and 5 cars. That's unusual. It's very unusual for me to haul that few amount of cars. Usually when I go to Iron Ore Mine West, I have at least 8 to 12 cars. And then I usually have stuff besides that. But like I say, I'm not going around the top anymore. I've just had too many problems with that stretch of track across the top there. I've gone across the top there probably 20 times, and 10 of those 20 times I've had trouble with couplers breaking. It won't derail unless a coupler breaks or I do something really stupid, go really too fast around the corner, because I've got the harder derail mod going. So I can click right along, but for some reason, there's certain areas where even though it doesn't derail, I'll still get broken couplers, and then the broken couplers cause all sorts of mayhem. Because of the broken couplers, then the cars will derail. And they start trying to hump one another, one car rides up on top of the other, I'll have 7 or 8 cars all piggybacking each other. Or I'll have cars sitting side by side. It'd be nice to get about a dozen or so loaded cars. Alright. I'll get us rolling forward. Let's see. Okay. And then I'll make sure that everything's moving. It's not a very long train now, so I'll just wait here. Make sure all these engines are running. So 1, 2, 3, 4 plumes of smoke. And if all 4 of those are running, then all 6 of these should be. It means nothing overheated. The rearward facing engines will tend to overheat a lot quicker than the forward facing. Got everything hooked up and moving, so let's roll on up to the iron ore mine. Just a short trip, although kind of a slow one. SO4. Back this way. We'll actually be coming in from the northwest, I believe. Yep. So instead of on the left, it'll be on the right. No. See, we'll swing around. We're coming from the northwest. Better reduce my speed. Holy cow. Not paying attention. I heard the wheels. See, we'll be coming in. We swing around from the northwest. We'll want to turn right, left. Forgot there's a lot of downhill shit there. Haven't been up here for probably about 3 weeks. I kinda gave up on Derail Valley for a while. I was playing some other games, Mud Runner, and then more recently Snow Runner. They're on my YouTube channel where I will post this stuff. When I first started doing these Derail Valley videos, first time I tried to record one, I got no audio whatsoever. Next time I recorded one, I got game audio, but I didn't have a mic. Then I got a mic, but it still recorded just game audio. I don't think I even published that one. I was trying to do the whole trip in order. Starting from way up at the food factory, and then this SO4, yeah. Oh shit, we can't drive through. Son of a bitch, stop. We'll have to back out and run them in from the other end because we can't drive all the way through. I was trying to illustrate the whole trip from going up from steel mill to goods factory to oil well, you know, to food factory, then hitting iron ore mine, and coal mine, and then checking back with oil well north and goods factory to see if they had any loads going south before I got back to the steel mill. And then the videos didn't turn out. So what I ended up uploading to YouTube was, I think there's one let's see, I gotta back up a little further. Not quite to the switch that I need to be at. I think I ended up uploading right there's the switch. ended up uploading one video that the content was okay. There was game sound, there was just no voice audio. And then I believe the next video has voice audio. And along the way, I got the video quality better. Made some settings adjustments. Although on this video, it sound the sound of the engine's rumbling. It sounds kind of crackly in my ears. I hope it doesn't sound crackly on the video. Yeah, I think that's probably good enough. Well, not quite yet, maybe. Yeah. I can run to the back set. I don't have to go all the way to the other end. I can run to the back set and use the rear locomotives. It's the advantage of having front locomotives and rear locomotives. I can use these rear locomotives to run them up that side track. And I can just hook up the locomotive remote right here. There we go. Put it away for now. Disconnect 5 cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Disconnect and get them going backwards. And then hop out and use the locomotive remotes. Yes, they disconnected properly. Having front and rear locomotives gives you options like this. All I have to do is make sure they clear the switches. I don't have to run them all the way up there. I see 2 strings of loaded cars and a third string that's probably a shunting job. If it's a simple shunting job, maybe it'll do it. Just make sure these are clear of the switches. And go validate. Wherever it is. Oh, it's on the other side. And take a look at what's on the table. Haul job, shunting job, a haul job, a shunting job, load and prepare terrain, another shunting job. Geez, I didn't see that many empty cars out there, unless they got them over on the other side. They could have them over on the other side where you closer to where you load cars. I have my wallet, of course, so I'll just walk this over here to where my wallet is. There's my wallet. Try and make heads or tails of this. There's only 4 cars loaded for the haul job. But I saw loaded cars on 2 separate tracks. Okay, there's the second haul job. This must be the 2 separate lines of cars that I saw loaded. 3 on one track, 4 on the other. That's only 7. This would give us 11. Oh, this would give us 1, 2, 3, 19, 20, 21, 22. Well, maybe I'll make that a separate video by itself. Shunting jobs at Iron Mine West. There's 3 shunting jobs and 2 haul jobs. I wonder how much of a pain in the ass these would be. Well, I'll take the haul jobs. Whoops. Validate, then put it in. There. And then I'll check on these, I guess. 2, 3, and 4. This is the long one. There's 5 cars on SO4. Probably the cars that were blocking my way. There's 3 cars on SO2. Those go up to 12. That's 13, 14, 15. Three on SO4. 1 on SO2. This one had cars on SO2. So we're doing that bullshit again. Three on SO4. Those are probably some of the cars I just brought in. Alright. I think I'll make another episode out of that, because it's 3:15 in the morning for me. So we'll do this next time around. Thanks for watching.